So Ramayana is going on for quite a few days. I thought maybe I'll speak for 3 to 4 days. But anyway, let me see it like today. It's gradually coming to an end. There's so much exciting happening. So Indrajit was the most difficult one to conquer because he had the ability to fight being invisible. So he used to perform one yajna called Nikumbhila, and after performing the yajna, he used to become invisible. So he was fighting, as you heard yesterday, and it was very, very difficult for them to counteract. There were so many monkeys were dying because of his arrows shooting from invisibly. And then he attacked Ram and Lakshman with arrows that were actually snake arrows. And these are not ordinary snakes. These are celestial snakes. Like, as you know, Takshak, then Ilapatra, etc. They are snakes with hundreds of heads and extremely poisonous. And he actually got this boon from Lord Brahma, that he could fight like that and use the weapons, snake weapons. And so he pierced Ram and Ravan in such a way that it seemed that they were dead. Then Indrajit went back saying that now Ram and Lakshman are dead. Ravan was very excited, so the Rakshasas were rejoicing. Ravan ordered, let Sita be taken by Pushpak Viman to see that Ram is dead. And the Viman came carrying Sita, and when she saw, she was so heartbroken. She started to lament that in the past the sages, the astrologers, and they all predicted that she would become a queen, she would have children, and now it seems that all their predictions were false. And so at that time, when she was lamenting in this way, Trijata was actually Bibhishan's daughter, and she was friendly towards Sita. So this way we can see how children actually takes to the qualities of the father and mother. So Bibhishan was so saintly, and so was his wife Sharama. You remember when Sharama consoled Sita, saying that when Ravan came with the magical head of Ram to show her and say that Ram is dead. So at that time, Sarama actually, when Ravan left, Sarama pointed out, no, this was just a magical thing. And Ravan's ministers also were advising. She knew that the minister was advising Ravan to withdraw from the battle, not to get into a battle with Ram and return Sita. But Ravan just wouldn't listen to anyone. So Trijata told Sita that Pushpak Viman doesn't carry any widow. The Pushpak Viman will not fly if a widow is there in that chariot. So now that Pushpak is flying, that means Sita didn't become widow. And at that time, very worried, all the monkeys lost their confidence and courage. So they were wandering around totally dejected that Ram and Lakshman now dead. But Bibhishan consoled them, no, there is luster in Ram's face still. Therefore, he cannot be dead. Same is with Lakshman. And so he gathered them together to continue to fight. So actually we can see like Bibhishan's presence must have been such a boon. Of course, Ramchandra's pastimes are just pastimes. They're like a drama on a stage, perfectly arranged. Every role, every scene is perfectly arranged. Like drama means conflict. Drama has a hero, drama has a villain. They're called a protagonist and antagonist. And there is a heroine. So always in the pastimes we see that. Especially Ram Leela, Ramchandra's pastimes. It's very clearly obvious that he is the hero, Ravan is the villain. So this is how the Lord becomes the hero. He plays the role of the hero and the demons play the role of the villains. Like in Satyuga it was Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha and other Rakshas, Daityas and Danavas. Now in Treta Yuga, it is Ravan and Kumbhakarna. And so this is how Lord's pastimes are so exciting. And that's how the Lord's pastime actually gives immense pleasure to the hearts of the devotees. So Lord Ram was wounded in this way. Like this is also his pastimes. And otherwise, who can do anything to him? He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But by playing his pastimes in this way, he actually teaches us a very important lesson. And at the same time, he entertains us. He provokes us, he inspires us to surrender unto him, side with him. Surrender unto him means side with him. When there's a situation like this, in one side the demons, the other side the Lord, then the devotees just side with the Lord. And many people will side with demons. It is their nature. Although they see how powerful the Supreme Lord is. I think yesterday I mentioned Bali Maharaj's gift to Ravan. Did I? Like, what he gave is the earring of Hiranyaksha. Ravan couldn't even lift it. A golden earring. He couldn't lift it. And he told that, you see, this belongs to my great-grandfather. Bali Maharaj's father is Virochan. Virochan's father is Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj's father is Hiranyakashipu. And his brother is Hiranyaksha. His great-grandfather. And he was killed by Ram. The same Ram actually killed him. So what chance do you have? So that's the thing, like a living entity, what chance does a living entity has to stand up against the Lord? No matter how powerful from our perspective it may appear to be. So powerful Ravan. So powerful Hiranyakashipu. They acquire their power by performing austerities. But those are, no matter how powerful one may be, in the from the material consideration, But compared to the Lord, everyone is totally insignificant because everyone is his part and parcel. Like the sun and the ray of the sun. Now, how powerful can the ray be? Can it be of any comparison to the sun? No. So devotees understand that, but the demons cannot. The demons' nature is that they don't want to accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Demon means extremely materialistic. And material means there are two worlds, material nature, spiritual nature. What's the distance between these two natures, these two worlds? Me and Krishna. That's the distance. Those who are putting themselves in the center, they're in the material nature. When I put myself in the center, or whoever puts himself in the center due to his false ego, mistaken identity. Instead of becoming a servant of the Lord, they want to become the master, Lord and master of this material nature. So when one develops that tendency, then he begins to think, I am the greatest. I am the greatest. Sometimes they do become great, but sometimes without being great, they think that they are great. Like for example, even an ant thinks that he is the greatest. Try to stop an ant from doing something. If you could hear the voice of if you could hear the language of the ant, you know what he'll hear? Hey, what are you doing? Don't you know who I am? An ant. So that is our position. Tiny little living entities with ant-like ability, but we are challenging the Lord. Now, because we cannot really understand the potency of the Lord, therefore Lord comes and plays his pastimes, just to attract us towards him. And by seeing his pastimes, we become naturally attracted towards him. I remember when I was young, I could never imagine that anybody would side with Ravan. I could never imagine that anybody could side with Duryodhan or Karna even. Because we knew that they are wrong. But then again, even in my young days, I saw it was a epic poem written by one Bengali poet. His name was Michael Madhusudhan Datta. Became a Christian. Michael Madhusudhan Datta. And who is the hero of that epic? Indrajit, Meghnad. The name is Meghnad Badkavya. The epic of Meghnad's death. And there, who is the hero? Indrajit, Meghnad is the hero, and Lakshman is the villain. But although that poetry was there, no one actually sided with Indrajit, except probably he himself, that guy, Michael Madhusudhan Datta. I mean, we could never imagine that anyone would side. But now they're making movies where Karna is a hero, Ravan is a hero, and Ram is a villain. So we can see, I mean, who are we dealing with? Who are those people? They're Rakshasas, they're demons. They may not accept it or admit it, but from this perspective, it becomes very clear that they're demons actually, those who are siding with Ravan. They're Rakshasas. So, and yes, from another perspective, they're Rakshasas. Why? Rakshasas are man-eaters, meat-eaters. man-eaters. They are not eating man, but if they get a chance, they'll start eating man also. But they're all gross meat eaters. So who they'll side? Naturally, they're siding with Ravan. So these are the things that we have to understand, who to side with and who not to side with. And that's why, it's important that we listen to Ramayana and Mahabharata to have the right understanding. Okay, side with Ravan. And coronavirus will come and wipe you out. Eventually, all of them are going to die. Rakshasas are going to die. Whereas devotees will find eternal life. That's the difference. You follow Ram, you will attain immortality. You will achieve immortality in the spiritual world. You follow Ravan, you will die, and who knows what's going to happen to you after you die. Probably you'll get a Rakshasa body, or a Pishacha body, Preta body, Anyway, let's be careful not to side with the wrong person. So Indrajit was the person that very powerful with their austerity, they acquired their power. Just like Ravan did, said it Indrajit also. They acquired their power in that way. And then they use it against the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when Ram and Lakshman became injured in this way, everyone was very worried, and Sugriv asked, when he realized that Ram is still alive, so he asked his father-in-law Shushen, who was an Ayurvedic expert. So he asked, what can be done to revive Ramchandra? And Shushen said that there are two herbs called Amrita Karani, Sanjivani Karani, and Vishala Karani. The Sanjivani Karani can even revive the dead person. And Sandhini Karani is, not Sandhini, Vishala Karani. That Sandhini Karani also is there, but he didn't mention about that. He said Vishala Karani. The wound that is inflicted by weapons can be cured by that. So when they're consulting like that, then all of a sudden they saw there was a huge wind, as if there was a huge storm. The ocean became turbulent, the waves were becoming very high. And then they saw Garuda coming, flying. The carrier of Vishnu. And when when the snakes saw Garuda is coming, they all just ran for their life. All those arrows were actually snakes. So they just ran. And Garuda touched Ram's body and Lakshman's body with his hands, and they became healed. Okay, who can heal the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So another act, another drama scene. So Ram and Lakshman is revived. All the monkeys now started to dance and exclaim in jubilation. And when Ravan heard that, he was surprised. What is happening? And then they got the news that Ram and Lakshman revived. So Ravan became so desperate. So at that time, so many of his generals died. So Ravan called Prahast. So Prahast is his commander-in-chief, and asked him to go to the battle. When Prahlad gathered his army and about to start in his chariot, a vulture came and sat on top of his chariot. Very, very inauspicious sign. And his horses of the chariot started to stumble. And the whip from the hand of his charioteer started to slip off. So Prahlad could see that these are all inauspicious, ominous signs. But still he went to fight. They are powerful, Rakshasas, gave a good fight. Then finally Nila came, the commander-in-chief of the army, of the monkey army. Nila fought with him. Nila broke his chariot. Prahlad jumped out of the chariot and started to shoot at Nila. But Nila, totally unperturbed with those arrows that were shooting in his body, he just picked up a big boulder and just smashed it on Prahlad's head, killed Prahlad. So, in this way, Prahlad was dead. Then Ravan decided to wake up Kumbhakarna. So, then after that, actually, that Ravan himself came to fight. He started to kill so many monkeys that Ram himself came to challenge with Ravan. Ravan was on a chariot, so Hanuman told him, "You please climb on my back." So on Hanuman's request, Ram climbed onto Hanuman's back. Hanuman was carrying Ram on his back and Ram was fighting. Ravan was shooting arrows at Hanuman. Whatever arrows he was shooting towards Ram, Ram was encountering them. But Hanuman started to get shot with arrows. But he was totally unperturbed. Carrying Ram, he came to the side of, in front of Ravan. Then Ramchandra, with an arrow, destroyed Ravan's chariot. Then Ram, at that time, told Ravan that, "Ravan, I can see that after fighting with the monkeys, you have become quite tired. Just go back to Lanka, take rest." So in this way, he let Ravan go. And Ravan, with his head bending, he just walked back. And seeing him humiliated in this way, all the monkeys started to jump with joy. So at that point, Ravan told his ministers about all the curses that he received and all the mistakes he made. He started to admit that. He told his ministers that how, after 10,000 years of performing austerity, when Brahma came to give him the boon, he actually asked for immunity from everyone except human beings. So Brahma actually warned him, "Ravan, be careful about human beings." Then Ravan, being so powerful, defeating the demigods, he came and fought with Ram's forefather, Anaranya. And when Anaranya was dying in that battle, Anaranya cursed Ravan, or told that one of my descendants will kill you. Then he remembered also Vedavati's curse, that Vedavati, the ascetic girl, was performing austerities to get Vishnu as her husband. Ravan tried to molest her, and Ravan caught her by her hair And she considered that just by the touch of Ravan, her body has become contaminated. It's no more good enough for Vishnu. So she created a fire from within herself. And she left her body. But before dying, she told Ravan that I will be the cause of your death. And Ravan suspected that most really this Vedavati came as Sita. So in this way, Ravan could actually consider that how his death is nearing. But still he wouldn't budge. And he said, wake up Kumbhakarna. And Kumbhakarna used to sleep for 6 months and wake up for 1 day. Few days back, Kumbhakarna actually had the date when he wake up, just before the war started. Kumbhakarna chastised Ravan that why are you kidnapping somebody else's wife? Return her to him, her husband. But Ravan wouldn't listen to any good advice. So when Kumbhakarna was woken up, he again came and told Ravan the same thing. I told you to return this, and you can see, like what a loss. You've lost so many of your generals, so many of your sons, and so many Rakshasas are killed. Anyway, since you are in difficulty and since I am your brother, I'll go and kill Ram and Lakshman. And I'll drink their blood after killing them. So then Kumbhakarna came to the field to fight. He was huge, like a mountain. And when he came, he not only started to kill the Rakshasas, the monkeys, but he also started to eat the monkeys. He'll grab 30, 40 monkeys and put them in his mouth and eat them up. So this is how Kumbhakarna was creating havoc over there. And then nobody could stand in front of him. Like whatever they were doing, like he was counteracting. They was throwing big boulders and mountain peaks, but they would just hit him on the chest or in his body and crumble into pieces. Then finally, Sugriva went to confront him. And in that battle, Sugriva was hitting him, and he was getting fainted also with the hits, with his strikes. But eventually he struck Sugriva, and Sugriva became unconscious. So at that time Hanuman came, and Hanuman thought that, okay, I will expand myself into a gigantic form and I'll deal with him. But then he thought that Sugriva is the king. So if I rescue him, if I save him, it will be a disgrace to him. Sugriva will take care of it. So Hanuman thought that let Sugriva deal with himself to show his valor. Otherwise, his valor, his heroism would have been stained. So then Kumbhakarna carried Sugriva, thinking that here is the monkey chief. So just I'll take him and put him in captivity, and then all the monkeys will surrender. So thinking that, he took Sugriva on his shoulder, and he entered into Lanka. And when he entered into Lanka, all the ladies there started to receive him with all kind of auspicious things, sprinkling scented water, sprinkling different grains and other stuffs at him, just to receive him in a kind of worshipful manner. Now when they were showing the scented water, that water falling on Sugriv, he came back to his, he came back to his senses. And then he just went and beat into Kumbhakarna's ear and took his ears off. Then he went in front of him and beat into his nose and tore his nose off, just biting him. And then he jumped back, came back to Rama. So Kumbhakarna, enraged, he came back again and he started to plunder everybody. So that time, Ram came to confront him. So a big battle took place between Ram and Kumbhakarna. Then at one point, Kumbhakarna picked up a huge mess to strike Ram. And Ram used Vayavya Astra, wind arrow, wind weapon, cut off his right hand. And screaming with pain, Kumbhakarna charged towards him, and he picked up a huge tree with his left hand and wanted to strike Ram. Ram cut off his left hand. Then he was still running towards Ram to attack him. Ram cut off his two legs. Still with a gaping his mouth wide open, he came to swallow Ram. Ram shot thousands of arrows and that went into his mouth, or wide open mouth. He was gasping for air. And at that time, Ram took one Vayu weapon and severed Kumbhakarna's head. Kumbhakarna's head rolled onto the main avenue of Lanka, and rolling got stuck in the main gateway of Lanka. Just his head was lying there, and his body fell into the ocean, and half the body was underwater, and half of his, such a huge body, the half of the body was above water. When the news reached Ravan that Ram has killed Kumbhakarna, Ravan just was so heartbroken. He started to say, without my brother, what's the use of living? And when he was lamenting like that, his son Indrajit said, okay, father, I will take care of them. So this is how the battle continues between Ram and Rakshasa king Ravana. Hare Krishna. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschata Deshatari.